Okay, today we're looking at Roy of the Rovers, Best of the 1950s. Now this is a best of curated collection. I really would have preferred had they published in order all the strips. I kind of don't like them skipping around, but I'm not the publisher, so this is the format it's in. It's put out by Treasury of British Comics, the imprint of Rebellion. They went a few years back and bought up a ton of old strips, so it is nice to see those here. This page here, there's a very, very brief introduction. I kind of wish it had been more. So this is just the start of the strip from September 11th, 1954. They run through to May of 55, do a little brief skip, and then continue from August of 55 to February. And I really wish they had all the strips in and you could just do a straight continuity. It's just unfortunate. Now this is something I'm not normally interested in, a soccer title, but this is just really, really well done. So it starts off here with the Roy of the Rovers, the name of the strip itself. And it's kind of interesting because the way this ran is you would have a color page and then a black and white page, and then a color page, and then a black and white page. It's kind of jarring, but I mean, that's how these people read it back in the day in the 50s, and you do kind of get used to it. So it starts off, Roy gets recruited to be with this Melchester Rovers team, and he slowly progresses, and he's got rivals that don't want him to be on the team. They don't want their spot replaced. And so it's an interesting thing. You're learning about the way the British soccer system works, or worked at the time. And the art's really good. Color is kind of only okay. The color's not the greatest, but again, that's what they had in the 50s at the time. And it's just interesting, how he's progressing and what his rival is doing to try and foil him. So it's, you think a soccer title might be kind of boring, but I was enthralled the whole time, and just how he progresses, from the junior squad to the reserves, and is just, making it up. So, once he's off this junior squad, you're not going to see that character, his rival there again. So there is growth, there is development in the story, and it's just an interesting title to see what happens. Again, I think it's really a shame that they skip, from April here, or May. So what happens is the team is about to go on a basically tour overseas, and I don't know why it wasn't published. I'm guessing it might have had some unfortunate stereotypes that the publisher didn't want to print. And that's why we jump here. So we go from May 21, 1955, team's about to leave, go overseas, and then boom, we're in August, and the team has just come back from South America. And hey, Roy gets promoted up into to play with it, along with his friend Blackie Gray. They get promoted. So it's just, if they're on the first team, that's great. But again, we would have liked to have seen the development, how they get promoted. It's just very unfortunate that Rebellion chose to not print that. I really would have liked to see everything just week after week after week. But then, he's on the first team. He's, visibly older, doesn't really look like that young like he does initially. And interesting other types of developments. So this book really just deals with his training, how he succeeds and gets promoted up, his dream of being a soccer star. Now, there's other kind of new rivals here on that, now that he's on the first team and he's the main team. So it's interesting. You still have interesting developments. Here's kind of a circus sideline story. And it's all interesting. It's all good. Even if you're not really a soccer fan, I would recommend it because it's just interesting developments. I mean, here this is great. Here they're doing headers uh, against each other with a seal on each team. It's just I don't know. I don't think any modern artist would even conceive of doing that. So it's really good, excellent. And then at the back, you have stuff from their annual, so it's all in color. Um, for this story, just how the whole thing is set up, that's kind of interesting. And then some background on the fictional Melchester Rovers, how they were throughout history. So there's some nice annual material that was snipped out and put into this book, and it's really interesting. I highly recommend it. It's a great title. Again, there's the shame of that cut material, but even without everything, and it's not a straight continuity of everything, it's just an interesting soccer title. I don't think there's a better soccer title out there. I mean, that's for sure. Um, and I'd highly recommend picking it up to anyone. Any comics fan is going to like this. Till next time.